All right, so I'm not quite sure how to kick this off. Not 100% sure what I'm doing here. Um, I've spent a lot of time ideating how I would go about, doing a YouTube channel, what topics it would be about. Basically ideating um, what making content looks like for me, why it's even important. And I think the conclusion I've come to is I'm just going to have to go. Like, just going to have to do it and do it my way and just keep putting it out day after day and realizing that what I am and who I am is enough. If one person listens, if 20 million people listen, um, I don't know, it's interesting. I feel like I talked about this in a previous, it was either a newsletter I put out or a piece of content about when David Shands from the Sleep is for Suckers podcast, he was talking about why he podcasts and why he feels it's a responsibility. And he was talking about his father and the fact that his father passed and there was so much wisdom he had and so many things to impart that were lost with him. And this being, and obviously I'm not speaking for him, I'm paraphrasing from what I remember from this particular clip from David Shands. But he was saying that this is part of the reason why he does it, like, so his children are able to say, that's what my dad believed, that's what he thought, these are his words. And I think in many ways it's the reason why it's important to me. This is not necessarily about making money or being some sort of content superstar. There's a lot of other ways to make money that are probably easier. um, I think for me, I've always felt this, even before YouTube or podcasting or TikTok, any of these things arose. I've always felt that my personal responsibility, my charge, was to share my journey. And I think when I don't do that in some way, I feel stifled and purposeless. I don't know if that's a word. I don't know. But and I've done that in different ways, like sharing my journey, sharing like my creativity being part of sharing my human experience. I've done that through poetry. I've done that through music, through the years that I've performed. I do that in different various other avenues when I simply speak up during my time doing the reparations work. And I feel like I think it's not simply just my charge to share. I really do my best to share truth, unadulterated, every time, in whatever it's in, whether it has to do with business, whether it has to do with politics. Like, I'm going to tell you the truth about what I see with the facts, the truth about how I feel. And I think the reason that's so important for me, it's a good question. Why is it so important to me? I think for me, it particularly has to do with, I've always had this passion for the spiritual life and mental state of men, particularly black men, because I feel like we get lost in the shuffle and we need others like us to tell the truth and to share our pain so that we know we're not alone. being human is difficult, period. Regardless of what kind of human you are. It really is. Being a black man in America, add to that a black Christian man in America, it's like you're an endangered species. Going off on a tangent a little bit, but this is how these daily musings are going to go. This is what it's going to be. I feel like I need to put a time limit on it every day, like make it like it's 10 minutes max. It's going to be between 5 and 10 minutes. I'm going to post these, and I'm probably never going to look at it again. That's another thing. I know a lot of people, whether it's, I serve on my worship team at church, and I hear people say, "Oh, Tony, I watched the broadcast. You look good up there," or whatever the case may be. Or my wife giving me additional feedback, or talking to other people that watch it back in order to see things they could improve on next time. I don't do that. Anytime I've performed, whether it's been with the worship team, whether it's in the past doing, with other avenues, I don't watch it back. And I think that's going to kind of be my thing with this. I will read comments and reply, but I don't feel like watching myself back. I just want to be on to the next one because I don't want to hyperanalyze or criticize myself. So this is what it's going to be. It's going to be ramblings. It's going to be ramblings. I think the lesson of this rambling, though, and what I want people to take out of this is the importance of letting your voice be heard. It's so easy for us to delegitimize ourselves, to feel like someone else can say is already saying what I'm saying, but better. Someone else already has this idea, or what I'm saying is invalid, or it's not important. And this world is made up of people's imagination and ideas and opinions, for better or worse. Yours is no less legitimate than, the people running for president, than the CEO of a company, than a top scientist. And very often, some of those people that we idolize, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing, but whatever. Some of those people that we idolize, they're in these different positions, whether it's a Fortune 500 CEO or an award-winning poet or director, or whatever the case may be. The difference is those things in their head, they took action on. They put it out there and they didn't leave it in their head. And there's power in getting past ideation and getting to action. Ideation keeps you trapped. We have beautiful stories that run through our mind over and over again. We all have amazing thoughts. I believe there's a level of genius in everyone. If you could extract what's in their head and put it into the world and create what it is people are thinking about, oh my goodness, the genius that would come out of everyone. But that's just ideation. Are you bold enough to make it real? So for me, this is the first step. I'm going to put stupid videos out, and they're probably going to be stupid for months upon months before my ramblings become more coherent. Sometimes they will be about a specific thing that I'm thinking of that day. Sometimes they won't be. It may be disjointed. It may sound like I'm insane, but let's just do this. It's like a daily journal. Tony Blunt's Daily Ramblings. All right, that's it.